All right, let's dive into the Egyptian pyramids.
Pyramids, yeah.
Specifically, how they were built.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at a YouTube video by Ahmed Adli.
All right.
And it's called The Pyramids Dilemma.
Okay.
Now, it is in Arabic.
Right.
But we've got all the key points translated for you.
I see.
So we're going to uncover some of those enduring mysteries about how the pyramids were built.
It's amazing.
And examine
yeah.
all the different theories.
It's remarkable how, even with all of our modern technology and centuries of study, we still don't have all the answers.
We really don't.
About these ancient wonders.
Yeah, I mean, just picture the pyramids of Giza and Dashur.
Yeah.
I mean, just that's enough to get anyone's imagination going.
Absolutely.
Over 100 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt.
Yeah.
Each one, I mean, kind of more awe-inspiring than the last.
Yeah, their scale and precision are
true.
mind-blowing, particularly when you consider that ancient Egyptian historian Ibn Zulak, upon seeing the pyramids, said they seemed beyond human capability.
Oh, wow.
It's a sentiment that still resonates with a lot of people today.
It really does, and it makes you wonder, how did they achieve this?
Right.
You know, I mean, we're talking about a civilization that was relatively young in its development, really?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the traditional explanation?
Well, the traditional explanation is that there was a gradual evolution of building techniques.
Right.
They started with mastabas. Then they moved on to step pyramids.
Okay.
And then finally, the true pyramids that we see today.
Right. But that doesn't quite fit the timeline.
No.
It doesn't.
Consider the step pyramid of Djoser at Saqqara, which was built around 2630 BC.
Okay.
It's an incredible achievement for its time.
Yeah.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
A mere 70 years later, King Sneferu, of the 4th dynasty, constructed those colossal, complex pyramids at Dashur.
70 years. That's that's nothing.
That's a blink of an eye.
Architecturally speaking.
Exactly.
I mean, going from that step pyramid to these massive pyramids, 70 years.
A huge leap forward.
I mean, that's like going from inventing the wheel to landing on the moon.
Oh, it's a dramatic evolution.
I mean, what happened in that 70 years?
Right.
What could have happened?
That's the question.
To spark.
But the popular answer is ancient Egyptian ingenuity.
But that's kind of, I don't know.
It's kind of a vague explanation.
Yeah, it feels incomplete.
It is. It's incomplete.
What innovation?
Right. What specifically?
Yeah.
Was it a new tool?
Right.
Was it a revolutionary understanding of mathematics?
Right.
Or was it something else entirely?
Something we haven't even thought of.
Right.
And then after that peak period, the pyramids actually become less complex.
That's right, they do.
Which
which adds another layer of intrigue to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, budget constraints and resource scarcity are often cited.
That's the common explanation.
It just deepens the mystery.
It does, it does.
For sure.
Let's take a closer look.
Okay.
At the Great Pyramid of Giza.
All right.
Okay, so its alignment to the cardinal directions is more accurate than the Greenwich Meridian.
What?
Which wasn't even established until 1884.
That's amazing.
Think about that.
Not to mention, how many stones are in that thing?
2.5 million stones.
2.5 million.
Each averaging 2.6 tons.
Oh, my God.
And let's not forget those massive granite blocks. In the King's Chamber. Weighing up to 70 tons each.
70 tons.
70 tons, positioned 40 meters high inside the pyramid.
How
did they even transport these behemoths?
Yeah.
Let alone lift them to such heights.
I don't know.
And before placing a single stone, they had to prepare the plateau. Imagine leveling 13 acres.
Wow.
That's 8 football fields.
God.
With layers of limestone and a pavement brought in from Tura quarries.
The scale of the preparation alone
It's mind-boggling.
is mind-boggling.
It is.
And then how did they move the stones?
Well, the most common theory is ramps.
Okay.
But the exact shape and construction of those ramps remains a subject of debate.
I bet, yeah.
Among archaeologists.
Okay, so let's just say for a second that they did use ramps.
Okay.
I mean, the weight.
The sheer weight.
Of these blocks.
Of the blocks presents a major challenge.
I mean, would a simple earthen ramp even be strong enough?
An earthen ramp would not be sturdy enough.
To support
such massive loads.
Right. And we're talking about...
Imagine the pressure...
70-ton blocks.
On those ramps.
Yeah.
With 70-ton blocks being hauled up them.
It would be like...
It would be like trying to drive a monster truck across a sandcastle.
It just wouldn't work.
It just wouldn't work.
There's also that depiction in the tomb of Jehudi Hotep showing workers dragging a statue on a sledge.
Yes, that's a common image.
But even if that was their method, I mean...
It doesn't add up.
Don't quite add up.
No.
Some scholars suggest that each of the 172 workers depicted was pulling 340 kilograms.
Okay, so that's over 750 pounds per person. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Realistically, that level of sustained force is just not humanly possible.
That would be like asking...
It'd be like asking...
a group of school children. To
pull a school bus uphill.
Yeah, it's just not feasible.
No, not at all.
No.
Speaking of testing out these theories...
Yes.
What about all those experiments?
There have been a number of experiments.
That tried to replicate.
Yeah, that have attempted to replicate. Ancient Egyptian construction techniques. Mm-hmm. And what have they shown us?
Whoa.
They haven't really been that successful.
They've been interesting.
Okay.
But they often reveal more about the limitations of our current understanding than about ancient Egyptian methods.
Okay, I see.
For example, Pierre Tallet and Frank Burgos conducted experiments moving a block weighing 2-3 tons.
Okay.
Which is significantly lighter than the 70-ton blocks.
Down in the pyramid. Okay.
And they were moving it on a downward slope.
Not uphill.
Not uphill.
So not exactly.
Not exactly a realistic simulation.
Not a realistic simulation, no.
No.
And what about the mud lubrication?
Ah, yes, the mud lubrication.
I mean, that was supposed to...
It was supposed to make it easier.
Yeah.
But in reality, it actually made the process more difficult.
Really?
Even Burgos himself admitted that the ancient Egyptians must have had more sophisticated techniques.
More sophisticated.
Than what they were able to replicate.
So they're basically admitting that.
They're admitting that.
We don't know.
We don't fully understand how they did it.
It's kind of like trying to bake a cake.
Yeah.
With a campfire and a stick.
It's a good analogy.
And being like, this is how they did it in the olden days.
Exactly.
I mean, it highlights a crucial point.
What's that?
That relying solely on our current knowledge and assumptions might not
give
paint an accurate picture.
Of
ancient capabilities.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at the relocation of the Abu Simbel temple.
In the 1960s.
In the 1960s.
That's right.
I mean, they needed cranes. And steel cables to move 30-ton blocks.
That's right. 30-ton blocks.
So if we needed that in the 20th century, what were the Egyptians?
What were they using?
4,000 years ago.
4,000 years ago.
It really makes you think.
It really does.
It does. All right, so let's move beyond just the external structure. Let's talk about those air shafts.
The air shafts, right?
Inside the Great Pyramid.
Yes.
I mean, they're not just for ventilation, right?
Not at all.
So
I mean, they're...
These shafts are precisely aligned with specific star groups.
Wow.
Imagine the complexity of maintaining that alignment across multiple blocks over a 60-meter distance.
It would be like threading a needle through a stack of hay bales.
That's a good analogy.
From across a football field.
It's incredible.
It's amazing. And it's not just any alignment.
No.
I mean, the shaft pointing to Sirius required a 40-degree angle.
A 40-degree angle, that's right.
I mean, how do you even achieve that?
How do you achieve that?
With hand tools.
It suggests a mastery of engineering and astronomy.
It really does.
That continues to baffle modern scholars.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of internal structures...
Let's delve into that descending passage. Leading to the unfinished chamber beneath the Great Pyramid.
A 100-meter passage,
100 meters with 60 meters.
60 meters.
Carved through solid bedrock.
Solid bedrock, wow.
Imagine the worker down there.
Yeah.
Chiseling away in that confined space.
And yet,
despite the challenging conditions, they managed to achieve a remarkable level of precision.
I mean, how precise are we talking?
Well, Egyptologist Flinders Petrie measured a deviation of only 1 millimeter.
Wow.
Every 20 meters in the passage's straightness.
That's incredible.
It is.
I mean, how did they even see what they were doing down there?
That's a good question.
I mean, torches wouldn't have been practical.
And mirrors. and mirrors.
I mean, they could have used mirrors.
Over such a distance?
Over such a distance.
Their effectiveness is questionable.
Yeah, so they must have had some kind of...
It suggests they must have had...
A stable?
Reliable light source.
Light source, yeah.
I mean, which just adds to the mystery.
It does, it does.
Okay, and we can't forget about those outer casing stones.
The casing stones...
They fit together.
They fit together.
With gaps.
With gaps less than 1 millimeter wide.
Wow.
And these stones were sourced from the Turok quarries.
Right.
A considerable distance from the pyramid site.
So, to achieve that level of precision...
It would have required...
Across millions of stones.
Incredibly precise cutting and polishing techniques.
It's hard to imagine doing that with just hand tools.
It is, it is.
It's like assembling a giant jigsaw puzzle.
It's a good analogy.
Where each piece weighs a ton.
It is.
And then there's Khafre's pyramid.
Khafre's pyramid, right.
It presents another challenge.
Another challenge, yes.
So unlike the Great Pyramid, which was built on a relatively level plateau, Khafre's pyramid sits on an uneven surface.
It does.
And so the western side...
The western side was higher.
Was considerably higher.
Than the eastern side.
Than the eastern side, yeah.
And so they had to level it.
They had to level it.
And they excavated 8 meters deep.
8 meters deep.
Along a 220-meter length.
That's right, a 220-meter length.
And removing over 90,000 tons of rock.
90,000 tons of rock.
And then they transported...
And then they transported that material... To the eastern side.
The eastern side.
For construction.
That's... I mean, that alone...
It's an immense undertaking.
...is mind-boggling. But here's what I don't get.
What's that?
Why would they use 10 to 20-ton blocks for this leveling work?
That is a good question.
I mean, wouldn't smaller blocks
logically
been easier?
Smaller, more manageable blocks would have been easier to move and handle.
Right.
It's a great observation.
That doesn't make sense.
The choice of such massive blocks for this task suggests that weight was not a primary concern.
So they must have had some sort of...
It hints at the possibility of tools or techniques capable of moving these massive stones.
With ease.
With relative ease.
And then in Khafre's temple, there's a 12-meter long...
12-meter long...
Like 110-ton stone.
110-ton stone.
It's almost like they were showing off.
It's like they were saying, hey, look what we can do.
Right, exactly.
It's a fascinating pattern.
Yeah.
Throughout the construction process,
the
ancient Egyptians often opted for the most challenging methods, defying conventional wisdom. It's as if they possessed knowledge or technology that has eluded us for centuries.
Right.
And that leads us to the story of Edward Leedskalnin and his enigmatic coral castle in Florida.
Coral Castle.
Coral Castle, yeah.
Okay.
So in the early 20th century, Leedskalnin single-handedly built this impressive structure using seemingly rudimentary tools. He moved and sculpted massive coral blocks.
Wow.
Some weighing up to 30 tons.
30 tons?
30 tons.
And he did this all by himself?
He did it all by himself.
With simple tools?
With what appeared to be basic tools.
I mean, how is that even possible?
When asked how he achieved this, he cryptically responded, I have discovered the secrets of the pyramids.
He discovered the secrets of the pyramids.
He claimed to have discovered the secrets of the pyramids.
So what secrets did he discover?
Well, unfortunately, he took those secrets to his grave.
Oh, no.
He did.
So we still don't know.
We still don't know exactly how he did it.
How he built Coral Castle.
But the sheer scale of his accomplishment, using basic tools, suggests a deeper understanding of forces and techniques that we may have overlooked.
It makes you wonder...
It fuels the idea that there's more to the story of pyramid construction than we currently know.
It's a fascinating thought.
It is a fascinating thought.
That maybe there's some lost knowledge or technology that could explain these seemingly impossible feats.
It's a possibility.
Now, let's not jump to conclusions just yet.
Of course, of course.
It's important to explore all possibilities.
All possibilities, yes.
From the practical
to the more speculative.
So what are some alternative explanations?
Well, some researchers believe that the Egyptians might have used a combination of ingenious yet simple techniques relying on
like what?
Their mastery of leverage,
rollers,
ramps, and manpower.
So it's just a
well-organized
ant colony.
Moving those massive blocks inch by inch.
I mean, but even with leverage and teamwork.
It would have taken an incredible amount of time and manpower.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
It certainly would have been a monumental undertaking.
Right.
But remember, the Egyptians weren't operating under the same time constraints.
That's true.
As modern construction projects.
Yeah, they weren't exactly rushing.
They had a vast labor force.
Right.
And a different understanding of time.
That's true. Time was on their side.
It was.
But still, moving those multi-ton blocks.
Yeah.
Even with rollers and ramps.
Again,
that just sounds
incredibly labor-intensive.
Incredibly labor-intensive, yeah.
It would have been.
Yeah.
Another theory involves water transport.
Water transport?
Water transport.
Okay.
Remember, the Nile. Was the lifeblood.
Yeah, of course.
Of ancient Egypt.
It was their everything.
They were skilled boat builders and navigators.
Right.
Some researchers believe they might have used a system of canals and barges to transport the stones, at least for part of the journey.
I mean, that would make sense.
It would make sense.
Using the Nile.
Using the Nile to their advantage.
To their advantage.
Yeah.
But then how would they have gotten the stones from the barges?
That's a good question.
The construction site.
That's where the ramps and leverage would have come into play.
Right.
They could have used earthen ramps, wooden rollers, and teams of workers to maneuver the stones into place.
So we've got water transport, ramps, rollers, and lots of manpower.
Lots of manpower.
It's starting to sound.
Like
a plausible scenario.
Like a plausible scenario, yeah.
But what about those intricate...
The interdimensional chambers.
And passages.
Could
they really have carved those out?
That's where the debate...
With simple hand tools.
Gets a bit heated.
Really?
Some researchers believe that copper tools, combined with abrasive sand and water, could have been sufficient to carve the softer limestone.
Okay, and what about the harder granite?
For the harder granite?
Yeah.
They might have used dolerite. A harder type of rock as a pounding tool.
So basically, a lot of patience.
And
elbow grease.
Exactly.
But even with those techniques.
I
mean, the precision.
The level of precision.
But they achieved in those air shafts. And the descending passage.
It's remarkable.
It's mind-blowing.
It is.
It would be like performing brain surgery with a butter knife.
A very steady hand.
It's incredible.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah.
About their skill and dedication.
For sure.
But even with these more grounded explanations, there are still gaps.
Right.
In our understanding.
We have pieces of the puzzle.
We do.
But we're missing.
Those crucial connecting pieces.
We know they use ramps, but what was their exact design?
Exactly.
How did they manage to haul those massive blocks up them?
Right.
We know they carved those intricate chambers, but how did they achieve such precision with their tools?
Those are the questions that continue to fascinate us.
The mysteries of the pyramids endure.
They do.
And they challenge us.
To
keep questioning. Exploring and imagining.
Absolutely.
It's a good reminder that history is not static.
No.
It's not a finished product.
It's an ongoing story.
Right. It's an ongoing story.
Full of surprises.
And
unanswered questions.
Sometimes
those unanswered questions lead to the most exciting discoveries.
They do. So
if we can't fully explain how the pyramids were built.
How they were built.
Using conventional methods.
Right.
What other options are we left with?
That's the big question. I mean, are we talking about ancient aliens?
Well.
Or some kind of mystical power?
While those ideas might seem far-fetched, it's important to remain open to possibilities we haven't yet considered.
Okay, I like that.
Remember Edward Leeds-Skellman?
Right, Edward Leeds-Skellman.
And his enigmatic coral castle.
Yeah, he's the guy who said he cracked the code.
He alluded to harnessing magnetic sources.
Magnetic force.
To move those massive stones.
Okay, so is there any scientific basis?
The concept of magnetic levitation.
Okay.
Using magnetic fields to lift and move objects.
Okay.
Is certainly not science fiction.
Okay.
We see it today in maglev trains.
Right, those high-speed trains.
That
just kind of float above the track.
That seem to float above the tracks.
Yeah. Could the ancient Egyptians have possessed?
It's a thought-provoking idea.
Some kind of ancient maglev technology.
It is.
I mean, I know they were.
And while we don't have concrete evidence to support it, it's worth considering. Remember, the Egyptians were remarkably advanced.
They were.
In astronomy, mathematics, and engineering.
Right.
So perhaps they stumbled upon a scientific principle that we're only beginning to rediscover today.
It's like finding a computer chip in a Roman ruin.
It's a tantalizing concept.
It is.
It makes you wonder if they had such knowledge. What other secrets?
What other secrets?
Might be hidden within those pyramids.
All right, but before we get too carried away with lost technologies and ancient superpowers, let's bring it back down to Earth for a moment.
Okay.
So what are some alternative theories about pyramid construction that don't require us?
Some researchers believe that the Egyptians might have used a combination of ingenious but relatively simple techniques. They point to their mastery of leverage.
Car rollers, ramps, and their ability to organize a vast workforce.
So a well-coordinated human effort.
A well-coordinated human effort, moving those massive blocks.
Bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
It would still require an incredible amount of...
It absolutely would have.
Time and manpower, wouldn't it?
Required an incredible amount of time and manpower.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But remember,
the
Egyptians
had a different concept of time.
They did. They had a different concept of time than we do.
They weren't bound by the same deadlines and pressures.
Bound by the same deadlines and pressures
as
modern construction projects.
That's true.
So they
had time on their side.
They did. They had time on their side.
But even with leverage and teamwork. Those multi-ton blocks. Must have been a challenge to move.
Multi-ton blocks must have been a challenge to move. Absolutely.
That's where the theory of water transport comes in.
Water transport.
Water transport.
Yes. The Nile.
The Nile was a vital resource.
As a vital resource.
For the ancient Egyptians.
That's right.
And they were skilled navigators.
And
boat builders.
Navigators and boat builders.
Some researchers believe.
That
they might have used a system of canals and barges.
To transport the stones.
At least, for part of the journey. That's an interesting idea.
It is an interesting idea.
I mean, it would have made moving.
Those
heavy blocks much easier.
Yeah.
But how would they have gotten the stones?
That's a good question.
From the barges.
How would they have gotten the stones from the barges?
To the construction site.
That is the question.
That's where
the ingenuity
of ramps and leverage
would have come into play.
So they could have
used
a combination
of earthen ramps.
Or earthen ramps. Wooden rollers. And teams of workers.
To
maneuver
the stones.
The stones into their final position.
Okay. Right.
So we've got water transport. Ramps, rollers. And a lot of muscle power. It's starting to paint. A plausible picture. But what about those intricate
internal chambers?
And passages.
Could they really
have
carved those out?
With
simple hand tools.
That is a good question. That's a point of contention. Among researchers. Some believe that copper tools. Along with
brace of sand.
And water. Could have been sufficient. For carving
the softer limestone.
Okay.
And for the harder granite.
And for the harder granite.
They might have used. What would they have used?
Dolerite.
Okay.
Which is a harder type of rock.
Okay.
As a pounding tool.
So a combination of ingenuity.
Perseverance. And a lot of elbow grease.
Exactly.
But even with those techniques. The level of precision. That they achieved. In the air shafts.
And
the descending passage. It's remarkable.
It's truly remarkable.
It's almost like they were performing microsurgery. With Stone Age tools.
That's a good way to put it.
It's incredible.
It is a testament to their skill. and meticulous attention to detail.
But even with these more grounded explanations, we're still left with gaps. In our understanding. Right. It's like we have pieces of the puzzle.
Right. But we're missing
those crucial connecting pieces. We know they used ramps.
Right. We know they used ramps.
But what was their exact design? How did they manage to move those massive blocks up them?
Right. How did they move those massive blocks?
We know they carved those intricate chambers.
But
how did they achieve such incredible precision? With their tools.
Those are the questions.
The mysteries
that continue
of the pyramids
to fascinate us.
Endure.
They do endure.
And they challenge us. To keep asking questions. To keep exploring. And to never stop wondering. It's a reminder. That history is not. A static.
Closed book.
With unanswered questions.
And
those unanswered questions. Often lead to the most fascinating discoveries. So speaking of unanswered questions. Let's shift our focus. From the how.
All right. From the how.
Of pyramid construction.
Why. To the why.
Okay.
Right.
I'm intrigued. Let's delve into the purpose behind these colossal structures. So the traditional view. Is that pyramids? For elaborate tombs? For pharaohs? Meant to ensure their
safe passage into the afterlife. Right. Filled with all the treasures. And provisions.
They would need
for
their eternal journey. But the sheer scale. Their complexity.
Of the pyramids. Seems to go beyond just a burial chamber.
Don't they? It does seem that way.
It's like building a skyscraper.
A
single painting.
To house a single painting.
The effort invested.
Seems like out of proportion. To the outcome.
At least if we're thinking. Solely.
In terms of burial. So if not just tombs. Then what other purpose? Could they have served? What do you think?
Giant.
What are your theories?
Astronomical observatories,
okay.
Ancient
power plants.
All right.
Time travel devices.
Okay,
maybe not that last one.
Maybe not time travel devices.
Or, something else.
The idea of the pyramids.
Yeah.
Serving multiple purposes.
Okay.
Including scientific and astronomical functions.
Okay.
Is gaining traction. Among researchers.
That's fascinating. What kind of evidence?
Well, let's consider the air shafts in the Great Pyramid.
All right.
Their precise alignment with specific stars points to a deliberate connection with celestial events.
I mean, we talked about that earlier.
We did talk about that.
It's not like those shafts were just randomly...
They weren't just randomly...
Pointing at the sky. No, they
were very specifically aligned.
Some
researchers believe that these shafts might have served a ritualistic function.
Oh, a ritualistic function.
Allowing the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the stars.
So like a cosmic elevator for the afterlife.
Like a cosmic elevator. That's a good way to put it.
I can see the ancient Egyptians going for that.
I can see that too.
Others propose.
Down
to shafts, that the shafts
were used for astronomical observation.
Yeah.
Helping them
track the movements.
Of
stars and planets. With remarkable accuracy. Which makes sense. Considering their...
deep fascination. With the cosmos. And the cycles of nature. But what about...
the pyramids themselves? Could
those massive structures
have had an astronomical function as well?
That's a good question.
I mean...
There are theories suggesting that the pyramids were designed to align with specific constellations at certain times of the year.
So the whole pyramid was like
essentially acting as
a giant sundial.
Giant celestial calendars.
A star chart.
That's one interpretation.
That's amazing.
The precise orientation of the pyramids, their geometric proportions, and their internal chambers could all have been designed to capture and harness celestial energy.
Celestial energy.
Celestial energy.
Some way.
All right, so we've got
astronomical observatories.
Astronomical observatories.
Cosmic calendars.
Cosmic calendars.
Potential energy conduits.
Potential energy conduit.
With what other theories?
What other theories are out there?
Well, give me something good.
Some researchers propose that the pyramids played a role in water management.
Water management.
Water management.
Like ancient Egyptian pumps or something.
Not exactly pumps.
Okay.
But some believe that the pyramids, with their network of chambers and passages, were designed to channel and regulate the flow of groundwater.
So they're not just tombs. Or observatories. But also giant, intricate underground
plumbing systems.
It's a theory.
That's fascinating.
That highlights the possibility.
Yeah.
That we might be underestimating.
Okay.
The practicality and ingenuity.
Of the ancient Egyptians.
It's
starting to sound like.
We need to view
the pyramids
as pyramids, multi-purpose structures,
serving a combination of religious,
scientific,
and practical
functions.
It's like an ancient Swiss Army knife of architecture.
That's a good analogy.
Right.
The pyramids might have been designed to fulfill multiple roles simultaneously.
It makes you wonder if we'll ever truly
reflecting the interconnectedness of our worldview,
the full extent of their knowledge. It's a humbling reminder
and capability
that we might never fully grasp the full extent
of their knowledge
and capabilities.
It's amazing.
The pyramids stand
real.
As enduring testaments.
Humbling.
To human ingenuity.
It really is.
Reminding us.
It's just incredible.
That there's always more to learn.
Yeah.
More to discover.
Absolutely.
And more to wonder about.
There's sure.
So as you gaze upon
Yeah.
those ancient wonders,
Yeah.
ask yourself.
Okay, I'm listening.
What secrets might they still hold?
Mm.
What stories
Yeah.
are they whispering to us
Yeah.
across the millennia?
It's that sense of wonder.
It is that sense of wonder.
That keeps us searching for answers.
Searching for answers. The more we learn.
And the more we learn,
the more we realize
yeah.
how much we don't know.
How much we don't know, which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing.
I like that.
It fuels our curiosity.
It fuels our curiosity.
And it drives us.
Yeah.
To explore the unknown.
Explore the unknown.
Right.
So what's the next step?
What is the next step?
In our exploration of the pyramid.
In our exploration.
Where do we go from here?
Of the pyramids.
It feels like we've been on this incredible journey.
It has been quite a journey.
I mean, we've considered lost technologies.
We have.
Practical engineering.
Practical engineering.
I mean, even the possibility of the pyramids serving as complex, multi-purpose structures.
Multi-purpose structures. It's fascinating.
And yet, they still hold those secrets.
They do. They hold their secrets close.
So close.
Challenging us to think outside the box.
Right. Challenging what we think we know.
To question the past.
What we think we know about the past.
It's almost like it's a reminder that history...
It is a reminder.
Isn't just a static...
History is not...
collection of facts.
A static collection of facts.
It's a dynamic process of discovery.
It's constantly evolving.
Constantly evolving.
As we uncover new evidence.
And
reinterpret existing information.
That's right.
I mean, I think that's part of what makes history.
The real magic.
So fascinating.
Of exploring history. Yeah. Lies in those unanswered questions.
Those unanswered questions.
Those gaps.
Yeah.
In our understanding that spark...
We're detectives.
Our curiosity and ignite our imaginations.
Right. Piecing together clues.
It's like we're detectives.
Scattered across millennia.
Piecing together clues.
Trying to...
Scattered across millennia.
Reconstruct a picture.
Trying to reconstruct...
of the past.
A picture of the past.
And sometimes...
That's often obscured.
It's obscured.
By time.
And
And the limitation.
Of our present knowledge.
And sometimes the most intriguing clues.
And sometimes
the most intriguing clues that seem to
defy. It seemed to defy.
Conventional explanations.
Conventional explanations.
It's like those seemingly impossible feats.
Those seemingly impossible feats of engineering.
That we've been talking about.
That we've discussed, yes.
The moments where we say.
Those moments.
How could they have possibly done that?
Where we say, how could they have possibly done that?
Right.
With the tools.
With the tools.
And
knowledge available to them.
I
mean.
Those are the moments.
Makes you reconsider everything.
That force us to reconsider our assumptions.
Right.
And to explore alternative possibilities.
Right. Maybe they knew something we don't.
The ancient Egyptians. Possessed a deeper understanding. Of natural forces.
The natural forces, right?
A mastery.
Mastery of techniques.
Of techniques that have been lost to time.
Lost to time.
Or maybe they had access to resources or technology.
To resources or technology.
That we haven't even discovered yet.
Yeah, we haven't yet discovered.
I mean, it makes you wonder.
Or fully comprehended.
If there are hidden chambers.
It's tantalizing to think.
Yeah.
That there might be hidden chambers within the pyramids.
Right.
Containing ancient texts.
Ancient texts, artifacts.
Or artifacts.
That could shed light.
That could shed light on these mysteries.
On all these mysteries.
Imagine finding a blueprint.
A blueprint.
For a levitation device.
Whoa.
Or a manual. On harnessing. Unknown energy sources.
Unknown energy sources.
It's a thrilling thought.
I mean, it's amazing.
And while such discoveries might remain in the realm of speculation.
Yeah, for now. Right.
The pursuit of these answers is what makes exploring history.
It's what makes it so captivating.
Oh, captivating.
Takes us beyond.
It's a journey.
The text
that takes us beyond.
And the academic papers.
Textbooks and academic papers.
Into a world.
Into this world.
Of wonder.
Of wonder. Speculation.
And
endless possibilities.
Endless possibilities, that's right.
So as we wrap up. Our deep dive. Into the mysteries. Of the Egyptian pyramids.
I'm left with this.
sense of awe.
With a sense of awe.
And just this profound respect.
A profound respect.
For the ingenuity.
The ingenuity of our ancestors. And I just want to learn more.
And hopefully this exploration has ignited a spark of curiosity in you as well.
I hope so.
A desire.
I really do.
To delve deeper.
Yeah, to keep certain.
Into the mysteries of the past.
Keep asking those questions.
And to keep asking
why?
Those how and why questions.
What? Because
that drive us
ultimately
to unravel the secrets.
It's that sense of wonder.
Of history.
Right.
Because ultimately
the thirst for knowledge.
It's that sense of wonder.
Understanding.
That thirst for knowledge.
Connects us to the past.
And understanding that connects us
to
the past.
Illuminates the present.
And
inspires us.
To
shape the future.
So
keep exploring. Keep questioning. And never lose. That sense of wonder. Who knows what incredible discoveries
await us.
What
incredible discoveries
just around the corner.
await us. Just around the corner.